Good morning, good morning, good morning, everything and everyone. Welcome to the Dawn of Ascension Morning Show. And I'm here with my Ascension Soul team, and we are here to share our views and tools for these crazy and wonky vibrations and energies that we're living through today. And we all know they're really crazy and wonky, and we just want to live in peace, all of us. So today we're discussing integration through consistency. And I would just like to talk about consistency always behaves in the same way, has the same attitudes towards people or things, or achieves the same level of success. So consistency is always the same and the same level of success. Integrity. Integrity is the state of being whole and undivided. We are whole and undivided. We are upholding the territorial of our integrity, which would be upholding the values of our soul, the values of what we're here to do. Our feelings have more value than a, than another kind of negative or pushy attitude toward us. So, Aubrey, of all things knowing, what do you tell us today on integration through consistency?
So I'm glad that we're talking about integration today because there have been a lot of big shifts in the universe lately. And with big shifts often come really big downloads. And so if you have been having kind of healing experiences, maybe with plant medicine, or even just because you're meditating and just getting on a higher timeline, you have probably had the experience of having a really big download, having this understanding kind of flow through your body and not really sure what to do next. And so I'd like to talk today about integration and why that's so important. So integration, you can see that it has integrity in the name. And it's integration is one of the most important practices for actually following an ascension pathway. It's the idea that once you are told a new state of being, that you actually follow through on that state of being. And so when we're talking about integrity, we're talking about integrity to self and also integrity to your word. And actually making the shifts that you have been told that you need to make. Because it's very often that people will get these really big downloads and they don't know what to do with them. So it's just sort of this thing where it's like, okay, well, information, great, and they might get a little whisper on their shoulders saying, hey, go do the dishes. And that is a really that's actually the first step on a longer, broader ascension pathway, but you don't really feel like doing the dishes the next day, so you don't. And then it doesn't actually like integrate into your system. So remember, we're here to ascend the human bodies. So we're here to ascend the human vessel, and we need to do that by actually getting further into our human vessels, and that requires actually feeling good about the what you've done every day, and having the knowledge that you have been consistent in your efforts to stay on your ascension pathway.
Wow. Did my soul make that one personal towards me?
Do you know about my sink full of dishes that are right there in the kitchen?
I got a pretty big smackdown recently, which is why I know so much about this topic.
Gee whiz, that was. Oh, we got to take our medicine off of that one.
So when you actually hold an integritous container for yourself, a lot can shift a lot faster because what it really is it feeds your heart to have this knowledge that you're doing the best that you can for yourself. It's showing love for yourself through an act of service to yourself. And I don't mean just doing the dishes. I mean watching your thoughts. I mean, like we talked last time about every time I go through a doorway, I just watch what kind of thoughts I'm thinking about, and being integritous in the way that you react to people and situations, and even just think about them, and the type of feelings that you hold in your heart and allow to sometimes fester there. You know, being integritous about moving the energy that you know that you don't want to be experiencing is another way that you can integrate and show love to yourself. There's also practices like a daily morning ritual, whether it be meditation, whether it be journaling, whether it just be coffee or a very healthy breakfast, anything that, or going outside to greet the day, any sort of consistent practice that you can give yourself right now is going to really, really help. It's going to be an energetic marker for yourself to anchor to as you move in through the steps of ascension.
Oh, I always had a much easier way of following through with my word, but now I'm understanding that, mm, we have to pay attention to us now in an equal balance. So
Mhm.
I understand it, and I get that part about, my word, but where's the balance of taking care of me underneath giving my word?
Mhm.
So, wow. Whew, that was a lot of information. Okay, I'm ready.
Well, so when the four of us were discussing today what we would like to be talking about, it was interesting because I brought up integration, but Gina here brought up parasites, and I think it's such a really lovely. I like to kind of segue into that other topic right now because they really do go hand in hand. Because parasites energetically, and I'm talking about the parasites in your body, but I'm also talking about parasites you might pick up on the astral realm, or plane, astral plane, or even relationship parasites, where you're kind of getting sucked dry, if you're in some sort of friendship or a situation where you're energetically kind of like it's kind of vampiric. Those are all indicators that you're not holding a good container for yourself. And so the integration and having these consistencies and integrity in your follow through of what you say that you're going to do for yourself, it creates a stable container that then kind of holds your heart and your being and allows you to do so much more. It's strengthened. But when you're not following through on your promises to yourself, then your container gets leaky. And what happens is then other energies are able to kind of seep off of your energy. And energy is limitless. You don't have to actually ever replenish. Like you can actually give infinitely. You have access to infinite sources of energy. But if you're not containing it, then it will be flowing into you and then just flowing out, and flowing in and flowing out. And that's where parasites come in, because they also have not recognized their own energetic containers, and then they will feed off of your energy. So energetically, the way to get rid of parasites is to be true to yourself. But physically, Gina has some ideas.
Well, as I'm a retired nurse, so I have some background in that. Plus, I have a lot of animals, and with COVID coming in and ivermectin coming out more and more in the public, I decided to try some. It was really interesting. And being a nurse for now it's been 50 years. I've been retired for a while now, but and I work 12-hour night shifts. So I got in the habit a lot of coming home in the mornings and having wine to help me go to sleep, pretty much for a good 30 or more years. And it was very interesting with COVID. I never got COVID, never had vaccines or any of that stuff, but because I'm a nurse and I know better. But I started taking some ivermectin prophylactically. Really didn't not thinking about anything other than I really didn't want to get COVID. But one of the side effects that I found was that I really, it's like one day I woke up and wine was not in my wheelhouse anymore. Where before that, it's like on my way home, I'd think, oh, I should stop and get a bottle of wine. I'm out. Or when I'm at the market, let me get some wine. That all just left, and it's been a year. And looking at that, at how that affected me, then I started really paying attention to what, what's been going on. There's a great channel on Telegram called Dirt Road Discussion, which is pretty much specific for ivermectin and parasites and information. That and I learned a lot. Ivermectin they're finding it's curing cancers. So and it's helping people with rheumatoid arthritis, with eczema, with a lot of different things that I really wasn't putting that together with parasites. So it's a very handy little tool that you can pick up at your local feed store or Tractor Supply. And on Dirt Road Discussion, they give you the dosages. It's basically like an eraser amount that you can put in a 0 capsule, the gel caps, and take. I personally find I take one a day for 4 days, and then I give myself a break for 3 days. And I do it more prophylactically now because I have a lot of animals and I'm on a farm. But I also do think that with all of the processed foods and things that we're eating and how nefarious it has come out that companies like Nestle and Coca-Cola and Post cereal is, I wouldn't put it past them for putting eggs in things, parasite eggs. And I don't like to go into that dark stuff. So it's prophylactic. I have not heard, I've taken more than my share on some days when some squirts out extra and it's like, oh, it's here, I'll take it, of the ivermectin. You can't overdose. And I've been looking at Dirt Road Discussion for over a year, and it doesn't have any contraindications for any other pharmaceutical medications. They give the whole tube to a horse once a month or more. So anyway, it's just something to add to your pharmacy, if you will, or toolbox of knowledge. Take it or leave it. So I've just found it very helpful.
Wow, Gina, that's thank you for that information. I know it's been scattered all over the internet and just all over the internet, and it can be controversial, but that sounds pretty darn right on right
Well,
on to me.
I've basically had a medical background my whole life. My father was a doctor. So I was raised with all of that, and I've watched the medical profession take a severe nosedive throughout the years. And I've watched, I haven't been to a doctor now in probably 15 years. I have my toolbox of chlorine dioxide, hydroxychloroquine, which I either make or have the pills. That's with the lemon peels and grapefruit peels. Put them in a pressure cooker. That's also on Dirt Road Discussion, or you can look on the internet for more information on homemade hydroxychloroquine and the ivermectin. I find those things take care of everything. And since it just came up through my email, there's also earthing shoes that have now come out. They're having a sale for 4th of July, earthing.com, that really help ground you. So, the more tools we can have in our toolbox to keep us as healthy as possible, and that helps us and enables us to raise our vibrational frequency. So
I would like to make a comment about energetic parasites, because I had a really strong experience with an energetic parasite. So my father died 4 months ago, and um, we hadn't spoken for like 15 years, and he was just a very negative man um, when he didn't get his way. And he could be fun to be around when everything was going his way, but when it wasn't, watch out. But anyway, he had shared this negativity, and it went, and my sister-in-law had picked up this strong energetic parasite. And I was just having issues with crying and not grounding the way I was supposed to. And I was really having a lot of difficulty. And I was like, I got to do something. So Gina had sent me the super strong energy clearing spray. So I'd gotten this out. And when you're using the clearing sprays, um, set a strong intention. I mean, the spray itself has an intention, but if you really want to get super boosted with it, then set yourself a strong intention with it. So I had sprayed myself up good, and I set a strong intention that whatever was there energetically, I needed to clear it out. And I called in my soul, my higher self, and I was bound and determined that was going to happen. So then I seen it energetically. I could see myself, and then it was literally like a huge energetic tapeworm, and it had consumed my whole body. And then I seen it literally going out. It was huge. It was like big, and it like went out, and it was so long, and it just went out and went away um, during that clearing process that was very intense. And boy, did that feel good, getting rid of that energetic tapeworm. And anyway, the person that was attached to it had kind of difficulty me being released from it because she was feeding so much off of me. And then I asked her to, she needed to find her own source, and um, reluctantly, I think she did after a little while. But yes, there can be huge energetic as well as the parasite ones. Whew, just saying that a second time is just intense, you guys. I haven't really thought about it since that day that I did all that releasing of it. I'm like, whoa.
Energetic parasites are often they often attach to a place where you feel like you are being taken advantage of, or letting yourself be taken advantage of. And it's interesting just to look at the energetics of it, because there are situations where where you have enough to give and you can give generously, and in the exact same situation, this exact same exchange might be made, but if you are giving it from, or if you're giving from a place of lack, then it creates these holes that make you that create this I'm getting taken advantage of feeling. And especially if you are kind of like weighed down by these holes, it can be really difficult to kind of see them in yourself, because you're just leaking all over the place, and it's really hard to get clear and focused. But setting like internal boundaries and then external boundaries is a really good way to start if you are feeling, if you have physical parasites, if you feel like you're just being, if something is draining your energy, it's a really good idea to take a step back and spend some time just like setting up your container. And then you'll find that most of the time you can kind of re-enter situations and have more to give. Or you might find that it's time to leave that situation, and you'll find much more healthy and flourishing situations that facilitate growth for both parties. But yeah, energetic parasites they can't attach unless you let them. So don't let them.
Ah, yeah, that was
She was able to get rid of that because she didn't let it.
yeah, that was a big family issue. That was a big family issue. And I'm 70 years old, you guys.
I'll be 70 in October.
Yeah, 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 really, really, really. We've been here working a long time.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Um, is there anything else we would like to contribute to that conversation?
Well, I think it's just also a good idea to remember that dis-ease
There goes
is
that.
is what it is. So it's looking inward to see what is causing, where your dis-ease is coming from.
Mhm.
What are you allowing into your space that is causing that dis-ease? Or what are you sending out too much of? A lot of anger and fear, those kinds of emotions will lower your vibrational frequency and cause a lot of dis-ease. So it's really important to look at every aspect of your life and how you can contain it in the most positive way,
Mhm.
in the most joyous way, you know.
Mhm.
Sometimes the old term fake it till you make it
Hmm.
can work really good. If you're having a bad day and just really grumpy about everything, start smiling. Just make yourself smile. Go in
Yeah.
the bathroom and laugh, you know. Um, if you're really angry about something, take a drive around the block and scream in your car. You know, do what you need to do to release those lower or heavy, dark frequencies. And then when you get out of the car after screaming, just go, "Oh, that was wonderful," with a big grin, and feel your heart just explode with happiness and love for yourself. There you go.
Yeah, I think it's important to remember that you get to decorate your own container. I had a friend recently say, I mean, you can choose butterfly wallpaper. You can do anything you want in your own container. And you can choose to like not exist in a container you enjoy and make everything harder for yourself, or you can choose to like the things about yourself that you like, and to feed that energy, and to create a more dynamic container for yourself, so that and that starts with little things like Gina was saying, like just find something to smile about. There are so many things to smile about. There's a practice that I tell some of my clients to write down a list of 100 things that you absolutely love. And I mean, not just a little bit love, but like, oh, really love. And you'll find that it gets harder and harder as you get to the end of 100. But at the end of 100, you have a list of 100 things that you love that you can pass every day, and bring that light into your reality. Like you have the power to focus on the things that you want to focus on. So do that.
Focus on what we want.
Mhm.
That just reminded me pretty much the same list. I was watching Gene Decode. I don't know if any of you know who he is, but he did a question and answer session a few days ago, and I was listening, and I forget what the topic was. It was about somebody who didn't, oh, it was like their brother was always being bad, they had such conflict with this other person, whoever, that they were always doing something wrong, and they were getting on drugs and seeing the wrong people and all of this. And Jean brought up well, look at how you always think about that person. You're always criticizing them. So now switch that up. Make a list of everything. Make a list of 100 things about that person that you like, and read that every day and see what happens. And they came back and they said it completely turned that person's life around, because our thoughts have the ability also to influence other people. Mm-hmm. And how they react to you, and how also they think of themselves. If all these negative thoughts are always being bombarded, especially by family members or some people that are close to them, being bombarded constantly with the negative energies, switch it up. Find the good and send that instead.
Mm-hmm. We are all one single consciousness experiencing through different perspectives. And so throwing thoughts that negative thoughts somebody's way, it does affect them. And when negative thoughts come your way, you can choose to continue to feed that loop, or you can choose to move into a higher frequency and not, and not let it affect you, or use that momentum in order to move more into an area that you would like to be, but we're very, very, very connected. So love yourself and love everybody love each other.
I want to go back and talk about rips and tears on our auric field, and how the parasites energetically and within our realm attach to us. I have heard rips and tears on my aura forever and ever and ever, and I never exactly understood how they happened, why they happened, how they could go away and then they can come back. So you're saying that our emotions and our feelings about ourselves is what creates those rips and tears in our auric field?
So those rips and tears I often call fractures. They're a direct result of trauma. And trauma is, contrary to popular belief, trauma doesn't have to be, trauma is, I thought things were one way, but they're actually this way. And when that happens too fast, it will create it will basically fracture a soul and create this fault line. And so when a trauma happens and a fracture happens, then that will start creating belief systems and leaks and rips and tears in sort of the wholeness of the energetic body. Now, the thing is you can't exist without having that type of experience. Like every single soul has been blown to oblivion over and over and over and over again. What determines whether or not you a more like a higher vibration or a higher dimensional soul is how well you put yourself back together. Because we if we didn't have this experience of shifting, you know, and there you can absolutely just shift naturally with the universe, but there's that like it's the quickest way to have a deeper understanding of something over there. And so when those fractures happen, then sometimes they don't get put together as fast as we would like, and that's what causes rips and tears.
So is that the same thing that brings in the parasites, or is that the just the thought of
Yeah,
just
it's unaddressed trauma. It's always what it is. It's like and all of trauma kind of leads back to self-worth. And so it always comes down to a worthiness structure, because there's this idea that you might not be worthy to exist, but guess what? If you exist, you are an integral part of existence. You wouldn't exist otherwise. But it's easier to it's fine for me to say that to you on a YouTube channel, but and it's a different thing to believe it yourself. But you really can just step into that belief and start feeding the systems that will continue to allow you to heal and grow and be consistent in that.
wow. Okay, I get it. After all these years, I get it about the rips and tears. Oh my, that's such a big deal. Wow.
Mhm.
Well, Susie, do you have a fairy message today?
Yes, I do, Arlene. Let me get my deck out. All right, we're going to do mushrooms again today. I really had fun doing mushrooms the other day. And we kind of get to learn a little bit about mushrooms as we're going through them. So let's see what we get
That's
here.
I like that. Has everyone gone mushroom hunting before? Yeah, mushroom hunting's fun.
All right, so I picked the octopus stinkhorn. Octopus stinkhorn.
How fun. It looks like a jester's cap.
Yeah, really.
Oh, it does. It does. All right, so while I'm looking it up, any guesses on whether it's edible or not edible?
I don't think it is.
Being red, it probably isn't.
I'm going with it is.
All right, so the octopus stinkhorn is called a Clathrus arcari, and it is edible but not recommended. So you're all right. Yeah, the nickname is Devil's Fingers, and it just has it's a putrid smelling mushroom.
See? No.
No, I couldn't get back past the sneaky stinkiness of it.
Yeah, and I know, like, yeah, I mean, the stink. And I think what I'm noticing about the card is it's got those little black splotches on it.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering if that might be maybe our shadows or fear or judgment maybe trying to come to the surface.
Good thought.
And Gina, you mentioned like the jester's hat. I mean, that sort of makes me think of the Fool in the tarot deck. All right, hang on a second. Let me just
That's
get
actually
some.
one of my favorite cards in the whole tarot deck.
Is
I
it the
just
Fool?
love taking that step off the cliff. See where you're gonna go.
No, for me, it's the Fool and Wheel of Fortune. Where are we going next?
All right. Yeah. So I'm just going to get a few little clarification cards. But while I'm shuffling, this deck is small enough. Do you guys want to see me do a little fairy magic? Let's see if I can do this for you. Yay, I did it. I cut the deck with one
Wow.
hand. Okay, it's not really fairy magic. Okay, I didn't have electronics as a kid, right? I just played a lot of cards.
You're
Right.
a fairy and it was magical. I think it was great.
All right, let's see. This way. Oh, yep. Yep. That makes total sense. Right. So we have those little bits coming to the surface. So it looks like there's yeah, Five of Pentacles. So it's kind of like something dark, something that we're trying to overcome. But it's temporary, right? It's not a major arcana. It is temporary. But I think we need to sort of let go of something. And I really like this card because if you see behind him, he has a couple of little cups there. And if you just turn around, then you can really see the big picture. So he's not really a bad guy. He's actually pretty good. And he was right next to this guy. And this guy, he's not a novice. He knows what he's doing. So if we can figure out what it is, what our little blemishes are, then I think we can do really, really well. And this is what came up in the future. Transformation. So I think if we could dig in deep, find what it is, what those blemishes are, bring them to the surface, then we can have this beautiful transformation and really go to the next level and grow and just be in the learning of it. And then I also picked up these ones. And this one is my activation card. I look at this as, you're going up a level, right? If you can get through, you're activated, and this is our ultimate goal. But there's something else here that I think I should bring up. Before we get to this celebration, I think we really need to do a little bit of work and to really look inside. And this card is my transmuting card. Really going inside, feeling what it is that we need to release and letting it go. But we've got a transmuting expert in the house, Arlene. I'm just wondering maybe if you might want to just say something about maybe transmuting, because you and for people, I guess, that have not seen our show before, Arlene is a master transmuter, and I mean, like, on a massive scale. Like, just to give you an example, on the eve of the solstice, there was this giant anchor that was anchoring down, was it Stonehenge? And she just like blew it to smithereens, like boom, 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 and gone. And next thing you know, it's like liberated. And I mean, there was lots of people that were helping as well. But I mean, Arlene, can you just talk about transmuting, what we need to do to what transmuting is, and basically how we can do it ourselves to get through those tough times and to get to our magic place.
Everything needs to be felt. No matter what, all the energies need to be acknowledged. So whatever energy is coming in, it needs to be acknowledged, and then it can be released. So you need to acknowledge whether it's nefarious or it's benevolent, or just is it humanity's energy? Just where did it come from, and what is it? Um, so that's the main thing. So what I do is I acknowledge it. You have to just acknowledge it. And sometimes it hurt like hell. When I transmute on a a grand scale, then it doesn't have a personal effect to me because I see it as just energy, and energy that needs to be taken care of in a grand way. But when I do it personally, or I'm holding space for someone else so that they can transmute something, then I also feel that. And and these ladies know me well enough to know that they can just be talking about something. All of a sudden, I just pucker up with tears, and I'll grab my heart, And I've had to, and I transmute that energy. I feel it, I feel through it, and then I help release it. So it just goes away, so it doesn't bother anyone.
Including Arlene is so good at holding her container to actually transmute it. Like she is very good at clearing a container regularly so that she's not, because moving energy like that through your body, especially if you're doing it for like to assist someone else, if you're not selling your container, you'll pick it up. And a lot of like empaths who feel really drained, I kind of have that problem. And I'm sure that Arlene, you learned this skill through through trial and error. But she, like, I just want to acknowledge that Arlene is masterful. I completely agree with Susie.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yeah, it's fun. You kind of get pumped up there, and but everyone else, when we're working together, they will know more about what's going with me because I'm just pumping up the energy, just trying to take care of something, or I take care of a lot of stuff out away, out of our atmosphere, out in the you out in the cosmos. I will take care of a lot of, especially humanity's energies out there. So thank you, everyone, for acknowledging me. Uh, do do I hear anything? I hear it's coming. Beep, 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 beep,
Beep, beep, beep, beep, beep, beep, beep, beep.
beep. We have incoming. Okay, Aubrey, who is incoming today?
Today's message is from Mother Earth. And honestly, she just wanted to check in and tell everyone you're doing great. I was sort of like, is there more to it? And she said, I mean, there's gonna be some more waves coming, and if you are resisting letting, like Susie's reading was spot on today. There are some final things that need to move in order for us all to move, and they're moving whether you like it or not. So if you are having a really hard time right now, it is probably because you're holding on to something that is trying to leave your body, and you don't want it to, even though it's making you feel terrible. So just really learn to breathe through a lot of this next week. I mean, and probably this previous week, I'm sure many of you are having some deep breath moments, and just really be open to change. Be open to change. It's the only constant in the universe, and it's going to be really, it is really magical. But Mother Earth wants everyone to know that she is very impressed with how everyone is doing so far. It's working. We're doing really, really, really well, and it's not over yet.
Oh, thank you, Mother Earth.
That reminded me, I just checked in, if you watched our show from Monday, the crystal grids, the original earthen grid is now completely integrated with the Atlantean and Tartarian grids. And the overlay that's coming in from source now for the Earth's upgrade or ascension process is moving forward. We still have another a week or two to go with that, but the grids that are already here are now fully integrated with each other and working together.
Yes, they are. So plug in and let everything go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Let it go, let it go, let it go.
yeah, having fun. The more you can smile and laugh and feel the earth beneath you, hug a tree, smell a flower, listen. Oh, go outside and when you're walking down the street, listen to what sounds you hear, not just the traffic going by, but is a bird singing in the tree? Is a bee buzzing by? the bees and spiders were giving us a message on Monday. The bees, if there's a buzzing by you, they're giving you codes to wake up, to help you move through processes. So it's really becoming more aware of what is in your reality now.
Good focus, you guys. Good focus. Well, I would like to thank everyone for coming and watching our Dawn of Ascension morning show. And if you have any comments, put your comments down below. I know we're not the only one that is experiencing this, and I know every single one of you that are watching have some kind of experience that you would like to share, and you can certainly share it down below in our comments.
We would love to
We
hear.
love stories.
Yes, 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 yes. In fact, one of these days we're going to do a show on just stories. There's just so many wonderful stories out
Mhm.
there of all kinds of different issues that have been cleared for our ascension. So we would like to invite you to leave your comments and join us on our next show. We're always here Monday, Wednesday, Fridays to the Dawn of Ascension show. Thank you, everyone, and
Thank you for
goodbye.
coming.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.